Good morning, friends. Welcome inside my very messy studio. I am in the midst of getting some zines together for a local Zine Fest here in Asheville, North Carolina. This is my first time being at a festival where it's really just focused on zines. So I went ahead and pulled out all of my existing zines that I have. Gonna go back through those and check them, and then I'll display them at the fest. And then I have several zines, as you can see here, that still need to be folded and cut. And that's what made me think of this idea for this video, because I want to run by you several things that I do to just finish off my zines and make the quality feel a little elevated. The first thing is when you get your zine printed from a printer, or if you print them at home, oftentimes when you go to fold it, a lot of the ink will kind of rub off along the fold. So I've learned to fold the zine inward, and that prevents that rubbing off. So you'll see here that I took my existing zine and I'm just starting to do my folds like I normally would. But instead of folding them outward where the colors are facing out, I'm going to fold them where the white background is facing out and all the colors are inside. It just makes the folding point a little more clear, and you see there's no rubbing off or anything like that along those folds. Here is an example of when I do fold it the other way. You can see how the white line emerges along the fold, and that is what I am trying to avoid here. And if you're new here and you're just learning what zines are all about, I just created a video called What is a Zine, and I'll link it, I'll link it in the notes below. You can check that out. And of course, I have a whole playlist on zines and how to create them, so you can check those out. But I'm doing my basic fold here, my basic 8-page fold. And I will mention real quick, if you're interested in learning more about making your own zines, I created a zine template that is now available in my shop, and you can check that out anytime. And there we go. So the first tip, like I said, is to fold inward. And then as you're finalizing your zine here, you can fold as usual, but it just puts a little less pressure on those folded areas, so the ink lasts a little bit longer. So I'm going to go ahead and get through folding the rest of these zines here, and I'll meet you back here in a second. And this brings me to my second tip, and probably one of my favorite tips, is to go back and add some extra color and details to the folded edges of your zine. Naturally, when you fold your zine, it's not going to perfectly line up, so you can see how some of the background, which is all white, shows through against my very colorful zine on the front of the page. So what I like to do, and I'm going to just slip a piece of paper under here so you can see a little bit better, is I like to go back and open those pages up a little bit and just add some color. And it's usually like with highlighters or some kind of bright color, just to kind of contrast my other colors that I have going on. So you can see how just adding that color kind of finishes off the page a little bit and makes it look a little less sloppy, or as if it wasn't folded in alignment. So you can play around here. There's so many different ways you can go about this. I usually like just keeping it simple with a highlighter or a marker, and I'll just go back through and color in those edges. And just a reminder, because I create these mixed media, very colorful zines, this is something that I do to kind of complete my zines and finish them off. But there are such a wide variety of zines and booklets that you can create, and they don't have to look like this. A lot of people will print zines on white printer paper with some kind of cool quote or drawings with just like black ink, and that is perfectly fine as well. So I've just kind of adapted this style because it leans into my artistic style when I paint, and do my other collage work, but just know that there are so many different ways to create zines, and it doesn't have to be like this. So I really encourage you, if you are curious about zines or if you already make them, let me know how it's going. Try to experiment a little bit, try some different things, and just let me know what works for you. All right, and though this step takes a little bit of time, it really pays off because you can see how colorful and vibrant these zines turn out. All right, for my next tip, because there is a flap in the folded edges, I like to take a piece of Scotch tape and just kind of tape that edge together, and it'll just kind of hold the zine together a little bit more. So you can see on the front cover I have that flap, and then on the third page when you open it, I also have a flap. So this is just a small step to just make it feel a little more book-like, I guess. Of course, if you want your viewers to be able to open up the zine and kind of see what it's all about, that you don't need to do this step. But I really like this because I just feel like it kind of holds it all together a little bit more and makes it feel a little higher quality. And with the Scotch tape, it's the matte version, so you really can't see the tape at all. No one will really notice it. And like I said, it just kind of holds the zine together a little bit. I don't go too crazy here. I just do the side flap. I don't also do the bottom flap. I find that just a small piece of tape on the edges on the side do enough to hold it together. All right, now getting ready for my next tip. This is something that I have been starting to do when I have a little more complicated of a zine to cut. And I'll show you in this case. I'm going to pull over a piece of just cardboard that I have. This is what I'm going to cut on top of. And you can see this zine here. The printer ended up printing 3 zines on one piece of paper because this is a very long and skinny zine. This was my last zine that I sent out as part of my zine subscription. And what I found, scissors, of course, are great for cutting. However, when it gets a little more complicated like this, go ahead and pull out your X-Acto knife and cut on a table. Watch your fingers, because I find that this creates just a much more exact cut, and you can kind of do it all in one motion versus having to use scissors. This is the first time that I've had to print a front and back zine, and because the nature of this zine, the size of it, it's long and skinny, I really had to lean on the printer to help me figure out how best to print this. And that's something I've had to learn along the way, especially having a subscription with mailing out zines, is how can I replicate something, keep the quality, keep the colors, and just kind of make it work. So sometimes it's a little extra to do these cuts and that kind of thing, but luckily I enjoy the process, and this is actually quite fun for me. So this zine, of course, will need to be folded down. It's kind of like an accordion fold, so I will do that at a later time. But you see, by using the X-Acto knife, I can really get some good cuts, nice, clean, crisp lines, and that'll set me up for when I do my folding. All right, and my last and final tip is when you're presenting these zines, whether you're selling them or giving them away as a gift, just to put a little extra touch on them and a little extra personalization. So one example of this is I just got these new super fun business cards made. Thank you, moo.com, and Tracy at People You May Meet on Etsy. I will put her link below. She is phenomenal. But I just got these business cards made with this cute little picture of my face. So just including your business card on the back of these can be just super cute. Use some kind of colorful paper clip like this. And that just adds like an extra bonus when people are getting these or looking through them. Any type of extra little fun thing, even if it's just a business card, I believe is really worth it. So this is another business card, an older one that I had that's a little smaller, and it's very colorful too. So just by adding that on with a fun little binder clip here, you can see it just makes it a little extra intriguing and interesting. So this is a great chance to play around. Another thing that I really like to do is I'll take a ribbon and wrap the zine. I really like this bright fluorescent pink here against the background of the zines. So that can be a simple way to add an extra little touch and finish off your zine. And of course, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I love this black and white twine. I use it all the time. And so here too, just gonna double it up and wrap it around. The black and white I find is a great contrast against really colorful pieces. So usually when I am sending a gift or creating a new piece of artwork or whatever, I like to just finish it off with this twine. It's simple. And then you can just tuck in your business card. Super cute. All right, and there you have it. Those are my 5 tips for adding a little extra something fun to your zines to finish them off and make them look amazing. Hope you all are doing well. Let me know how it's going with your zine making, and I'll meet you back here soon. Cheers!